How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So in this video, we are going to look at 5 keys that are dropping in price, meaning they're going down from their highest highs and this kind of having a downward trend. But maybe this is the start of something new. Maybe they'll start going up again. Who knows? Maybe they bottom out. Maybe they'll continue to fall. We'll look at 5 keys. Also, I like to do an update at the end of this video of one I've done a few months ago. See if it's still dropping, what's going on with it. Also, if you don't know, I'm running an auction on my website, collectorscomics.com. If you watch this video today, which is Sunday, you'll be able to do it. It ends in like the next couple hours and goes throughout, towards the end of the night. So if you're looking to pick some stuff up, go ahead, look in there. And thank you for all the people that did the first day of the auction, which was yesterday. Okay, let's look at the 5 keys. First, we got icon number 1. A 9.4 is down 56% from a high back in September of $100, now selling for $26. A 9.6 down 25% from 103 to 61, and a 9.8 is down 55% from 300 back in April to 205. So back in like 1993, the early 90s, DC branched off and had a sister publishing called Milestone Comics. And this is for like minority artists and writers to collab together to create brand new characters. Icon was one of them. Obviously Static Shock. That was probably the biggest one to come out of Milestone. Milestone doesn't really exist anymore. I think it kind of fell apart later 90s because during that time there was a huge boom in comic books. We all know about it. And later 90s it kind of all crashed. So this came out of the Icon. Now with Static Shock, possibly rumors getting a movie. Who knows if it'll ever happen. I think people are reaching for other Milestone characters, hoping maybe he'd make a guest appearance in it, a cameo, maybe get his own thing, whatever. So they're reaching for Icon. Hasn't really panned out. So, there's the hype and the hope that Icon was going to be something, and nothing really happened. There was really nothing founded on it, really just speculation at its core. Black Knight number 1, a 9.4 is down 56% from 165 to 72. A 9.6 is down 25% from 200 to 150. And a 9.8 is down 55% from 565 back in October to 270. So most of these books had their high in October, which was right before the movie was released. I actually had to look it up just now because I thought it was released way long ago for some reason. It feels like Eternals was released like 2020 in November, but it was 2021 in November. So 6 months ago, I guess, about that. Man, it seems like forever ago. That just proves how, I guess, not good the movie was. It's kind of more forgotten. I was like, there's no way it was released a month before Spider-Man. Was it? I guess it was. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's why this book kind of went really high. Outside of that, I mean, I've said this before a million times. Eternals is, I'm going to say this is my personal opinion, a dead franchise. I'm talking about in terms of the MCU. I think it's not really good. They're not making a number 2 at all. A lot of people say, hey, it made like 400 million or whatever it was, and it cost 200 million to make. Anytime you see a movie and the production budget is say 200 million, you have to double that for advertising. So usually their break-even point, plus the theaters take a cut and everything like that. So their break-even point is literally double the production budget, and that's their break-even. So they basically maybe roughly broke even. They're not in the business to break even. And on top of that, if the movie had like stellar reviews and everyone loved it, just maybe bad marketing or something, and it didn't do as well as they were hoping, they might give it a second chance and a sequel. But the reviews are bad. The audience score was kind of mixed. So they're not going to do it. Now, does that mean Black Knight is not going to appear in other things? Possibly. They might take some of the characters that worked, including Black Knight, and pop them in some future MCU movie, maybe Avengers. Who knows what? I don't know. I don't know what the plans are. But as far as Eternals 2, not going to happen. So this book, along with all Eternals books, is getting hit very hard. Next, we got Toxic Avenger number 1. A 9.4 down 59% from 325 to 133. A 9.6 down 58% from 306 to 129. And a 9.8 down from 826 to 295, down 64%. So this is the typical 80s B-rated. I went through the 90s. They probably even still make them today. I don't even know. I think it's from Tomar Videos. Entertainment or something like that. This was kind of more of like got a cult classic going. Obviously, it had a spin-off for a comic book, and then I think it had an animated cartoon in the 90s. I think so, with lots of toys. So this is their biggest hit for, I think it's Tumar. I'm not exactly, Tumbra. I don't know, something like that. This was their hugest hit. I did read that they are remaking this movie, but more higher budget, because what they had was a very low budget movie to begin with, and then each movie after that was this even lower and lower budget, and it was, I don't know what the last one cost, probably like $5 to make. So they're very low budget, shoestring budget type of thing. But I believe they're gonna try to make another one higher end though. Will it do well? I don't know. I would imagine if things progress with that movie, that this book is going to see a resurgence. So it quite possibly could be near the bottom for this book. Next, we have The Nice House on the Lake, number 1. A 9.4 is down 54% from $61 to $28. A 9.6 is down 61% from $90 to $35. And then a 9.8 is down 65% from $214 to $76. So you can see on that graph, it just kind of went down since its release. Not surprised there. That's usually what happens with these books. Newer books, modern books, is they'll be hyped up in the beginning and they slowly go down because there's really nothing else going on with this book that would make it want to go up in value. If you got a bunch of new readers that started reading at like, say, issue 5 or 10, and then hopped on like, well, I want to go back and get issue 1, that could happen. But, they usually do second printings, third printings, fourth printings for that. So it's really hard for a book just on story alone to see a resurgence. And a lot of times with new books is they will print so many copies because a lot of companies will want to get a variant cover made. So usually they only open the doors to certain comics, usually number 1s, things like that. They'll let you have variants made. So then everyone jumps on the variant train when they can, and then their company will make a bunch of variants. That's why you see them from like Midtown Comics, Frankie's Comics, all that kind of stuff. They'll make a bunch of variants for number 1, which then increases how much there is out there. Remember, supply and demand. Because usually it's like, okay, if you want to make a variant of a particular book, you have to do X amount. So it's like, okay, you need to order at least 5,000 covers. So say Frankie's Comics or something like that, we'll order 5,000 covers. Okay, now that just upped that print run 5,000 more. And then you have maybe 10 different companies or comic lines wanting to do a variant cover. So now you just up and say it's 5,000 each minimum. They usually have a minimum you have to buy. Now you just had 10 different companies make a variant because they want to attach themselves to a number 1. And usually that's when the door is open for number 1s, because you can't just say, hey, I want to be on issue blah, 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 blah title. DC, Marvel, like, no, you can have this title if you want it. If not, you have to wait for our next one that we allow. So now you just up that print run by 50,000 if each one has to order 5,000. I mean, you talk to Comic Tom. He knows all this kind of stuff because he does it. Maybe he does a video on it. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so you just up that print run by a ton, which then makes everything else kind of go down from there. Last, we got Black Panther number 2. This is the first appearance of Shuri. A 9.4 down 27% from 375 to 275. A 9.6 down 69% from 800 to 252. And a 9.8 down 61 from 1300 to 504. So this got a lot of hype because Chadwick Boseman died. And they're thinking, okay, they're not going to replace Black Panther. They're just probably going to go with Shuri, and she will be the new Black Panther instead of replacing the actor. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. But once again, it's all speculation. The movie comes out at the end of this year. So we'll probably get some kind of trailer. What are we, probably 5-6 months out? We'll probably get a trailer within the next month or 2, I would imagine. Maybe 3 months. That will kind of give us maybe what we're thinking. So if they do go with Shuri as the new Black Panther, this book will spike again. It'll go hog wild. I don't know that for sure, but if that does happen, then this book is technically near its bottom. All right, last on the list is an update. And this is one I've done previously before, but so let's update, see where it's heading, see if it's still going down, still going up. Usually it's about 2 months out is when I do these updates. If you like this kind of stuff, please think about subscribing, helps out the channel, and like this video. Also check out my auctions at collectorscomics.com. All right, last one. We got Vengeance #1, first appearance of America Chavez, a 9.4, down 7%. From a previous average of 391 in March, now averaging 365, a 9.6 down 14%, averaging 529 to 454, and a 9.8 back in March, averaged 1159, now averaging 1062, down 8%. This tends to happen when a character comes out and because the hype was at the highest, obviously the character's out in the new movie. If people really, really connect with that character, you can see the book staying or dropping just a little bit, or maybe even going up. That wasn't the case with this character. Also, people, if they really connect with it and, Marvel or DC or whatever, are like, oh, we love this character and it's getting a spinoff, it's getting a this, it's getting this, because people really loved it. And, trust me, all these companies love to promote any character they have as much as possible and say like, oh, we're going to do a spinoff. What was it? Before Batman was released, they had a spinoff for the Penguin already announced, a Gotham Police announced, and I want to say one more. Was it? I don't remember what it was, but wasn't it had to do with like Poison Ivy and Catwoman and something like that? I'm not really sure exactly, but they were like, "Oh my gosh, so and so's portrayal is so great. He's getting a spinoff on HBO Max," and you're like, "Okay," because they love to push that stuff. So it makes them, I don't know, makes it feel like they're a good character. You didn't see any of that with America Chavez, so this could be her one and only role. We don't know. Could appear later down the line, but if she does appear later down the line, let's say in 2-3 years, she has another cameo appearance or in her own movie with a bunch of other like younger stuff, like a Young Avengers, then that book will go up then. But until then, this book will probably continue to drop. That is it. Have a great weekend.